Hey everybody, welcome back. It's Nate. I talked to you guys a couple months ago in April. Just picked up a new set of skates, the SEBA CJ2’S from 2015, the whites. 2016s actually, my apologies. The setup that I showed you the first time, I had the SEBA CJ2’S with the 50/50 balance frames. Big shout out to Long at Oak City Skate Shop and Lawrence with 50/50 for making that happen. Absolutely love the balance frames, but went ahead and picked up the stock setup. I found the SEBA stock frames that came with the CJs, so that's what I've been riding for the most part. So that's what I'm going to go into today. Had a good chance to get a skate for him, get a feel for him. If you can't tell, I beat him up pretty good. Took me a little bit to be able to get out and about and do the skating that I wanted to do, with skating park, skating my practice rail, skating a little bit of street, and finally able to give you guys a solid, in-depth review on what I think of the CJ series from Seba. So let's get into it. My initial thoughts on the CJ, they were very stiff. I didn't like the lacing on them. I haven't updated. I just went completely stock with these skates to see if I could get a feel for them and give you guys that don't have the chance to buy complete, total setups to know what you're going to get into when you buy the CJ. Overall, this is probably one of the best skates I've ever skated in my life. I started out with K2s in 1996 with the Backyard Bobs, and then went to the King 55s. I transferred into Razors in late 90s to the Shima series, then into the Genesis, then to the Cults, and now I'm back into skating, and I decided to go with something completely different, something that I didn't know, and I love it. So let's go back into it. It is an integrated liner system for those that are just watching this the first time. There is no liner with this. It's 100% the boot is what you get. It's a very comfortable, very functional boot, very responsive. I absolutely love how they feel now that I've got them broke in. Shout out to Blade Tech on Facebook for helping me understand a little bit more about what these skates can and can't do, for adjusting the flex in them to make them a lot more comfortable. I haven't actually broke down and actually done it. So if you do pick these up and you're having a hard time with flex, this right here, this bracket, I can't really get in close enough to show you, but there are notches on it to where you can cut them out and give yourself a little bit more flex on the boot to be able to get lower on royales, a little more responsiveness to help you if you're having an issue with flex on your royales, your top soles, your torques, anything like that where you need the boot to be able to move. I haven't cut them, but as you can tell, like, there is still a lot of flex. I did loosen up the bolts on the sides to give me a little bit more leeway on the cuff to move and maneuver, and absolutely love it. For those of you that like flex on the back, this lip right here, there are a couple guys out there that have cut this lip off to give you a deeper V cut to make more flex on the back side of your skate. So if you like doing your heel rolls and stuff like that, it's going to be something that you can look into to try to modify it and cut it down and break it down that way. The soles on these, I love them. They're very thick. They lock on to pretty much everything that you could think of. I had a chance to skate downtown Knoxville in these last week. Took me about 45 minutes to realize that I definitely need to upgrade to riding flat if I'm going to be doing any type of duration skating in a downtown environment. So I may be looking into a different frame setup or different wheels. The guys at Tougher may be helping me out with that here soon, and I will give you guys a review on those once I get the wheels in. But the SEBA frames that come on here, like I showed before, we've got a huge groove already put into it. You can lock onto everything that you want to lock onto: handrails, ledges, curbs, parking dividers, whatever you want to lock onto. These will definitely allow you to do it. The wheels that I have on here are the stock Seba CJ wheels and the ILQ9 bearings in them. I love these bearings. Never skated a bearing that is this smooth rolling and this fast, and definitely love this setup. Now that I've skated in them for a good amount of time, I can tell you that there is a longer break-in period than most people are normally used to. Bear with it. The more you skate them, the more you get used to them, the more comfortable you get with these skates, the better you're going to feel in them, the longer you'll be able to ride, and the more comfortable you're going to be in the long run. I did have a chance to change the setup around a little bit. I set up my original Genesis with the 50/50 balance frames, and I like how it feels. The way the groove lines up with the backslide plate is a little bit different. It's not 100% spot on, so you're gonna get a little bit of an off angle when you lock onto rails and ledges and stuff like that. So it's something you might want to be leery of if you do go to the balance frames. Try to make sure that you're getting comfortable with those frames before you start doing anything long periods of time. But overall, I absolutely love these skates. Like, they are a little on the heavier side. As I pointed out in my first video with these, I did all the weight comparisons between these and the Colts and the Genesis, and discovered that these are a little bit heavier. But a lot of that has to do with the sole and frame system, as well as the way the boot is designed. There are carbon fiber of these right here. I believe they are the SX series. I'll have to look into that, and I can try to link that in the description here. But very, very versatile skate. The frames can fit up to 65mm wheels, so if you do like a little bit of a bigger wheel instead of rolling close to the ground, you can adjust your frames accordingly and get a little bit more ride height. So the one thing I have noticed is I'm a 9.5 shoe, and these are size 9s right here, and I do get a little bit of toe rub in these. I'm not sure if that's just because I haven't got the padding broken all the way to be able to get my foot locked down, but I've noticed that if I do get that toe rub, probably 2 hours or so into a session, if I loosen my skates up and adjust my foot placement and tighten the laces down a little bit more, it stops that toe rub. So that definitely is something you want to look out for. Make sure that when you're doing this, you're measuring your foot properly. You can do it one of two ways. You can take your insoles out of your tennis shoes, or you can take your insoles out of the skates that you have and measure your foot, where the imprint of your foot is from the tip of your toe to the end of your heel, and get a proper measurement on your foot, and then you can order your skates in centimeters. That's part of the reason why, if you look at any of your skate tags, they have your measurements for US, UK, European, and let's see, millimeters or centimeters, I'm sorry. So it's just something to check out. Make sure that you're doing your research on your skates, guys. It's a very, very big investment, and you don't want to buy a set of skates for $300, $400, or even if you're buying a low-ender set, like a beginner's product like the Colts here, that you want to make sure you're getting a good foot placement in your boot, because it does make a world of difference. You don't want the infamous foot numbing that you get with skates that can come if you don't have the right setup in your skate. So I noticed with these that the stock frames and stock soles on these, when locking on to pretty much anything that's a painted ledge, very smooth concrete ledge, is a very, very fast slide. I guess you could say. You definitely don't need a lot of wax. So make sure that you're trying to get your balance and get your speed right before you go out and just wax a marble ledge or a painted ledge or anything else like that with these frames, because you may end up regretting it at the end. They do lock on, and I love how the frames, the groove here where the H-block is at and the groove for the backslide, as well as the internal groove, line up very nice. So when you are locking onto a Royale or a Farfanugan or a UFO, you can actually get really low into them and get comfortable and lock into that groove very nice and get solid placement on your skate. The next thing that I'm probably going to do with these is I'm going to actually upgrade the soles and the wheels. I'm going to upgrade to some tougher wheels and probably upgrade to the red soles and cuffs that Seba has released for the CJ series, just because, you know, what's skating without a little bit of flair, right? When I do that, I may or may not come back and let you guys know that if there's any difference in the way the sole slides with colored frames as opposed to just the stock black frames. But if you guys have any questions, please feel free to shoot me a message on here. Let me know what your questions are, and if I can answer them, I will. If not, I will dive into some research, do a little bit of digging around, see what I can figure out for you guys. I appreciate all of you that have talked to me throughout the course of this and asked me questions on these skates and what I think of them. One thing I have noticed is, you know, the back of these here, where the logo is at, the CJ logo, has started to peel. It was a bit of a concern of mine, simply because, you know, I spent so much money on these skates, but at the same time, it doesn't really serve a function other than a decoration. And it was pointed out to me that if we're buying these skates to destroy them anyways, so what does it matter if that little bit of a flap comes up? So if you do have these skates and you do buy these skates, don't worry about that. It doesn't affect the structural integrity of the skate at all. And, you know, like was pointed out to me, we're buying these skates to skate them and have a good time in them. And if they get beat up a little bit on the way, then, well, that's what we bought them for. We're checking to make sure that they're working the way they're supposed to do. And as long as there's no defects in them, then hey, that's all we came to ride, right? So as always, I thank you guys for coming in and stopping by. Shout me out on Instagram, Facebook, and even here on YouTube. You can find me on here every now and then. If you guys have more questions, you want more details on stuff, let me know. I am on Instagram. I started my own rollerblade apparel line. I'm not wearing it today. Unfortunately, I am proudly supporting my veterans today. But you can find me at Murdah Militia. It's a new company I've started. We'll be more than happy to answer questions about that company. Also, we've released our first line of t-shirts for men, women, and kids. Find us on Instagram, Facebook, Murdah Militia SC, hashtag MMSC, hashtag Murdah Militia. You can find us anywhere. Go ahead and put your orders in. The shirts are custom made right now, so they are made to order. So when you put your order in, they are being made by a veteran, by a rollerblader, somebody that's been rollerblading since 1996, and somebody that has happily defended freedom for everybody. So if you guys have any questions, concerns, let me know. Shout me out, tag me, and if you find my review helpful, let me know. I appreciate that. Subscribe, and I will do my best to provide more content to you guys as I go. Thanks. Have a great one.